Now, the champions got off to a flyer at Chaos Club Chelsea.
Alex Cook has got details of the situation involving Chelsea's bench, because there's going to be a big problem here.
A war brewing, seemingly, between Chelsea and the hierarchy and Raheem Sterling.
What are they doing?
Enzo, does Raheem have a future at the football club, in your eyes?
In this moment, he's a Chelsea player.
It doesn't work when you're just trying to impose Californian business ideas on an old English football club. It doesn't work.
And it's 100 not out for Erling Haaland, his 100th Manchester City appearance and his 91st goal.
Phenomenon, and helped us a lot. We've had the feeling that he feels better this season.
Chelsea are a mess, Manchester City are a machine.
They are so missing leaders, they're so missing defenders of the quality of Thiago Silva, even in his 30s.
We create chances, unlucky we didn't score, but the performance for me was good.
6 minutes to go, it's Chelsea 0, Manchester City 2. He can barely bring himself to celebrate. An absolute net buster from Mateo Kovacic, back on his old stomping ground.
Really happy, proud, privileged to be manager of these players.
And Chelsea, on the day that they excluded Raheem Sterling from their squad, beaten by one of their old boys at the Bridge, Manchester City signalling their intent on the opening weekend of the season.
Yeah, it was comfortable enough for below-strength Manchester City in the end. As far as Chelsea are concerned, I was just thinking, Ali, do you feel a bit for Enzo Maresca? I mean, is he making any of the decisions there?
No, I don't feel for him at all. Actually, after a quick think about that question, and my reason for that would be he would have known exactly what he was getting into, mate. So, is he making all the decisions? Possibly not. Would he have known that? Yes, so he's obviously accepted it, I think.
Todd Bowley leaving, 5 minutes or so before the end?
That's a strange look. Listen, we don't know why, but it's not a good look. I mean, he might have had reasons for doing that, right? You know, obviously, for whatever reason. But if you're sitting watching that as a Chelsea supporter, it ain't a good look, Jeff, is it?
Yeah. No, it definitely wasn't a good look. His bright blue suit as well, so he wasn't going to be missed, was he? That's for sure. So another one of those weeks for Chelsea. Revealed before the kick-off that Raheem Sterling was left out of the squad, and he and his camp immediately released a statement asking for clarity. Remember, Ben Chilwell told on Friday that he could leave the club. Joining us now for more, 1997 FA Cup winner with the Blues, Scott Minto. Morning, Scott.
Morning, Scott.
Morning, chaps. How are we?
We're excellent, mate. We're absolutely excellent. You're our man on the inside. What is going on at Chelsea, Scott? I mean, from start to finish, we've had the supporters on this morning. One game into the season, and you can almost feel the deflation, mate.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's on the inside, are we? We're all kind of guessing. Whether it's an educated guess or not, I'm not quite sure, but. Look, in terms of what I saw on the pitch yesterday, and I was there at the Bridge, well, the interesting thing for me was that Enzo Maresca was willing to go against a system that he's been really wedded to, and what he believes is his philosophy. You know, that it's the 4-3-3, the fullback goes inverted, the wingers are wingers and stay wide on the touchline. Yesterday was a 4-2-3-1. A complete change to not only what we saw at Leicester, but also what he's been doing in pre-season. I actually don't mind that, because I think that's an exception up against an exceptional side. The only thing is that Palmer and Nkunku are not wide players, and for large parts of that game, maybe they're not 100% fit, but they couldn't get involved in it. I mean, Chelsea did okay. The game itself switched on Pep switching the wingers. In the beginning, Savinho couldn't get in the game, and Doku he's basically in the pocket of Cucurella, and then they switched around. And not only did Savinho go past, Cucurella on several occasions, but Doku helped set up the goal. And I think Chelsea could have been playing till even now and wouldn't have scored. The moment City scored, I think it was always going to be difficult for Chelsea.
Scott, it's an interesting train of thought what you've just said there, because I'm looking at it as well, and you're right, he's matched them up, he's played a 4-2-3-1. So for him to do that, for him to change that, he obviously fancies his side to take them on man for man and beat them, which I think is a very, very brave thing to do against the best team in the country.
Well, I think what he did, and I think he was, because they're up against the best team in the country, was have that extra holder. Normally the extra holder comes from one of the fullbacks and maybe Marc Cucurella. But I think he wanted Lavia in there has played a lot in pre-season and done very well. Moises Caicedo, of course, who's spent over £100 million. They are, definitively holding midfielders. So I think he was very worried about Manchester City. Look, I don't judge teams normally on the first game of the season, good or bad. And I think, as Jeff was saying a little bit earlier, I think we judge Chelsea and Maresca's Chelsea more on the Wolves game, the Palace game, the Servette game, and going forward that way. This was, in many respects, not an ideal game because you're up against the best team in the country. But in many respects, they weren't, as Pep said, properly ready, and they're a little bit undercooked. But still, City were probably in third gear and coasted through it in the end.
Yeah, I mean, Scott, I thought there was some encouragement. Lavia, you mentioned, wearing the number 45 shirt. Very good. I thought the central defenders, by and large, they did pretty well as well. But all Chelsea's spending, all Chelsea's recruitment, they had to bring on an 18-year-old untested striker. Now, they've been crying out for an experienced striker and a top goalkeeper, and never was that more evident than yesterday.
Yeah. Jeff, I've been saying this for a long time. I think I even said it with you two. You spend over £1 billion and you haven't got a world-class striker and you haven't got a world-class goalkeeper. And where are games won and lost? They're in the boxes. Rob Sanchez, I thought, did okay, but the second goal, he should be saving. And, that means that Chelsea cannot get back into the game. It's as simple as that. 2-0, you've got absolutely no chance. And then you're right, Marc Guiu comes on. Look, he looks decent. He looks a talent. But you're relying on a youngster to come up and score a goal against the best team in the country. I'm with you on that one, and we'll have to wait and see whether they do get Victor Osimhen or not. Philip Jorgensen hasn't played. I mean, why was Petrovic not in there if he's not going to come straight in? I think he's a better goalkeeper than Rob Sanchez. There's a lot of question marks, and we haven't even talked about the off-field stuff either.
No, with Kepa's still in your books, mate. Maybe you could encourage him to come back and play.
Scott, what about the situation regarding Raheem Sterling? There's one or two, or there is a train of thought that he's another one that's been kind of disrespected. I'm not so sure, right? I can understand with all of Chalobah and Conor Gallagher, but maybe I'm a little bit old school. If you get left out the team, you perhaps go and see the manager on a Monday morning and say, why am I not in the squad? And then come out and say, right, I'm not in the squad for this reason, but this is the reason I'm going to get back into the squad. What's your take on the situation with Raheem Sterling?
Yeah, look, I mean, I'm with you a bit, Ali, really, because it's nothing new, is it?
No.
When a manager doesn't want a player, it sort of goes with the bomb squad. I do think in today's world, it's not needed. And I think with Raheem Sterling as well, I don't know the guy, but I think he's dealt with a lot of things,
of course
like
he has,
football and non-football issues with extreme class. And I think he's represented his clubs and his country with extreme class. So I think a little bit of respect should go in there. But if a club wants a player out and they need to try and make sure that they want to show that he wants him out, then this is what happens in football. The problem is that we're less than 2 weeks away from the transfer window. He's on 350 grand a week, allegedly. 3 more years left of it. He's the one in control. He can turn around and say you train on your own as much as you want. He can suffer that for 2 more weeks.
Yeah.
The club will have to pay him up, or at least come to some kind of compensation package if they want him out.
And thereby you have summed up the Chelsea conundrum in years to come. Players on long contracts and big salaries. And what do you do with them when you don't want them anymore? Scott, thanks very much indeed,
Thanks,
mate.
Scott. Have a good week, mate.
Pleasure, guys.
Marcus, the Man United fan, interesting thought this. He said, hi, why haven't Manchester United been linked with Conor Gallagher? He's exactly what we need and cheaper than Ugarte. Coming up, we'll turn our attention to some of the best, or should I say the worst, jokes from the Edinburgh Festival. That's next.
TalkSport Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the TalkSport app and on your smart speaker. TalkSport.